Hey guys, how's it going? Eli here, back with another video where I will be doing a Poke Market talk on everything going on. Without further ado, let's just jump right into it. So I know a lot of people are probably going to be jumping to the dislike button or are going to be, saying, I don't know what I'm talking about in the context of what the video is going to be titled as well as the thumbnail. But before you guys start jumping to that dislike button, please hear me out, and then if you disagree with everything I say, please leave a hateful comment or dislike if you feel so freely to. But if not, please feel free to leave us a like and follow our YouTube channel and subscribe to us. I do think that the sentiment that I'm going to be sharing is one that is of serious, I wouldn't say concern in the market, but I would say it's definitely something I feel like it's important for a lot of people to kind of just see my point of view on this. But of course, it's my opinion at the end of the day, and everyone should have their own opinion. And so everything I say is not financial advice. It's not here nor there. I'm just looking at kind of the facts and everything going on in the market. But what I am going to talk about specifically is the latest Heritage auction results. So for those people who don't know, Heritage Auction had an auction 4 days ago where I was I was bidding on some of the items. Some of them kind of snaked by my grasp, sadly. But I want to go over some of the prices for the things that I was following specifically, just so we can kind of see the importance of some of the items. So the first one I kind of want to jump into is some of the Gen 4 items. They had a booster box of Diamond and Pearl, a booster box of Majestic Dawn, of Stormfront, and then Supreme Victor's booster box. So for those people that don't know, if we are looking at the overall history of the booster boxes here, actually, you know what I want to do? I'm actually going to throw it up on the second monitor just so that we can try and have here, let me move my face so it's a little bit smaller. Here, let's throw this up on the second monitor just so that people can kind of see what I'm seeing as far as it goes. So let's take a look at Diamond and Pearl booster box, right? So we can see based off of last sold history that the Diamond and Pearl, why is this taking a second? The Diamond and Pearl booster box, let's see, there was a history of it. I remember seeing one sell a while back. I'm not seeing it pop up for some reason. But basically what I was going to show, okay, so here is a awesome. I'm so sorry about this, guys. I'm going to have to, because it is crossed off, and you know how I'm not a big fan of believing in seeing the crossed off thing. So we'll look at 130 point. So we're going to look at Diamond and Pearl booster box on 130 point. And for those people who aren't familiar with this and are new to the channel, this basically tells you what the exact sold listing price was for the crossed off point. So basically, obviously, it said 4,857 plus shipping, but I'm in the United States, so take everything with a grain of salt. It could have been sold elsewhere. But we're gonna see what the price was there. But here's one we can go into right now as well. We can look at the Diamond and Pearl Stormfront booster box as well. We can see that the most recent price for that, since we'll just go over that, was $8,500, and that was the most recent sale. Now, as far as it goes, I'm not going to show this on the page just because it has some personal information. But the most recent sale for the Stormfront sealed booster box on Heritage Auction sold for $6,500. So the price of the actual booster box sold for about $2,000 under what it last sold for, which is a pretty sharp decline, especially considering it is a sealed product. Another one we can try and look at, since this is taking forever, let's take a look at Supreme Victor's booster box. So if we look at the overall history of the Supreme Victor's booster box, we had one sell actually in May for $4,800. It looks pretty scraggly, so that's understandable. But at one point, it looks like I can't go back and see prior history, but at one point it was actually selling for around $7, $8, $9,000 a booster box, and I think at its high I saw it sold for $10K. It recently just sold on auction for $4,600, and then okay, there we go. Let's take a look at the price now, and we can see how much it sold for. Yeah, here's another one. This one sold in June actually for $6,270. So the price itself, but I mean, this is the condition of the box. You also have to take that with a grain of salt. Okay, wow, this one sold for, I don't know what that actually is. That's about $4,300. Yeah, and the last Diamond and Pearl on auction just sold for $3,500. So that's about an $800 difference, which is a pretty significant difference. And then the Majestic Dawn booster box. This one should pop up because there was a recent sale of it. But if I'm correct, it last sold for $10,000 on eBay. Yep, $10,105, and it just recently sold on Heritage Auctions for $8,000. So overall, just kind of sharp declines. And the reason why I think this is actually something that's very important to kind of look at is a couple of reasons why. One, obviously, I've been very adamant about my personal opinion on the decline of Pokemon prices when it comes to overall cards. And I said that, you know, I don't think sealed is going to be protected because obviously as demand dies down, then the prices begin to decline as well. And so even though it's more protected because long term it will hold stronger values, that doesn't mean that it won't get hit. So these specific sets in the Gen 4 era are a perfect example of that. And the reason why I obviously picked on this one was purely just based off the fact of the matter that, as you guys probably know, I'm a huge Gen 4 guy, so I like to follow the prices of that. The other ones I would say when taking a look at is, so we can say the first edition booster box. I don't know if it's going to show one. But if we look at the first edition booster box, first edition base set. Ooh, let's not mess that up. First edition Pokemon first edition base set booster box. Let's see if it'll pop up. It should, because there was one sold on auction not too long ago. If it doesn't pop up, we can always try and just go off. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Gosh, I hate how fabricated a lot of these things are when looking at all the EV heroes just popping up. Anyway, it's not popping up. So I remember seeing a last sold first edition base set booster box was selling for around $450, I want to say. And the most recent sale of the first edition booster box sold for around $384,000. Now this one did have a dent in it, so please take that into consideration. I do think that does take a significant hit, so I would say actually the first edition booster box, all things considered, did hold a relatively strong price, considering that we also had a Heritage auction back in January where it sold for $408,000, and that wasn't even at the peak of the price, where it sold for, I think at one point, a peak of $500,000. Then you also have as well, and here's another one. This is going to be very controversial, so please understand why I think it's important to still look at it in the grand scheme of things. There was a base set Charizard PSA 10 Shadowless first edition that sold for $264,000. Now, a lot of people are going to be saying, well, you know, Eli, the condition wasn't that great of that specific Charizard. It should sell for that price. But I think a lot of people aren't taking into consideration is a couple of things. One, PSA grading standards have changed so drastically, so you can't just say, okay, every single 10 is no longer valued, or is, I mean, you're just making the most dumb argument ever. Like, your argument as, that seems like an appropriate price for a card of that condition, that shouldn't go as a 10 nowadays, it should go as an 8 or a 9. But the argument that you're making is a dumb one because literally the majority of these PSA 10s, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if at least half of them wouldn't fly as 10s nowadays because of how harsher PSA has gotten at grading. So you're defeating the purpose of the value. So when you're saying that it's an appropriate value and that it's holding strong, but it drops $100,000, it's like the same argument for the guy that's like the meme where you see the house is on fire and it's just him sipping a mug and you're like everything is fine around. Like you're just like, it's like trying to say like, oh yeah, the price dropped $100,000 from its last sale. Like, yeah, that's fine. Like even hypothetically speaking, if you're saying to yourself like, oh, like, yeah, it's appropriate. Like it should, if it were to regrade, it gets a lower sale, but it still has that 10 label. You really think $100,000 is an appropriate price drop? Like that's an insane amount considering that it still has that 10 on the label going from the last sale of 360 to now 260. So I think that's something that a lot of people are kind of have their head in the clouds. But I mean, let's be honest here. Everyone thinks everything's going to go up to the moon every single day of every minute, and they're going to be able to consistently flip prices forever and ever. So I think people just have their head up their asses on that one. But you can completely disagree with me on this one, and I mean, I can understand, but I still think that there is a huge significance to the fact that it recently just sold for $260,000 on auction. I think that, like I said before, looking at the first edition base set booster box and the value that it did hold, all things considered, since it did have a dent in it, I think that's a pretty strong indicator of the fact of the matter that the booster box themselves for first edition Shadowless are actually holding pretty strong. But here's an actual one that I think is also very interesting to take a look at. Let's take a look at the Team Rocket First Edition booster box as well. So that this one at the peak of the market was selling for about, back in March, $20,000. I'm looking at the sales on a different spreadsheet, so you just have to take my word for it. You can see this actually on Heritage Auction. It sold for $19,200, a little bit under $20,000. And it sold last for $13,200, which is kind of the average price right now for a first edition Team Rocket booster box right now. The Team Rocket booster box, I mean, frick, it last just recently sold 2 days ago. Wait, am I looking at this right? New rare hard to hide? I don't know why it says that. But I mean, gosh dang, whoa. I mean, the condition is not the best, but we're just taking a look at these prices and you're just saying to yourself like, gosh dang, I don't give a crap what the condition of this one. Actually, no, this is in pretty minty condition, all things considered. And this sold for that much money. I mean, you can say the guy has 0 rating, so what are you gonna lose on it? But let's say that's a sham, right? If you got this one that sold for that much. This one sold for $16,000, so there's a high price, there's a low price, there's a low price, there's a low price. I mean, like, and then here's another low price. This one looks like it's by the same actual person though. Ooh, this could be interesting to see, considering the fact of the matter that it is sold. Oh no, this is sold by someone that's got a high review. Yeah, no, so the price of this has actually seen a sharp decline more than I thought. I was just going off the recent July sale of the 24th where it sold for $13,000, but the fact of the matter that this one also sold for $10,900. Yeah, guys, I mean, you're still seeing a sharp decline. That's almost 50% decline when it comes to the prices. It's probably around 42, 43%. When it comes to some of the older sets. So sealed product is not something that, you know, you can still rely on at this time. Please understand that at this time, I still believe it's a very good form of investment long term. I think right now you're starting to still see a rapid decline in overall prices. So I want everyone to hear what I'm saying and take everything I say as well with a grain of salt. We're seeing, based off of these recent Heritage auctions, we saw some of the first edition sets outside of base set, in my personal opinion at least, really start to see a drastic sharp decline. We have also seen a drastic sharp decline in the 4th generation booster boxes as well. The ones that are more rare, like Majestic Dawn, are holding up in value, but the ones like Diamond and Pearl base set, as well as the Supreme Victors ones, did see a lot harder of a drop. And then, of course, you know, with the first edition Team Rocket, and there was a couple of other first edition ones. I don't want to go into it because I could do this all day, literally just showing you guys the price different drops from Gym Heroes and other sets. But basically, yeah, the purpose of me kind of showing you guys this is that we're still seeing price drops in this market as of literally 2 days ago. And so I think that a lot of people need to understand. And here's the thing I don't understand. I think, in my personal opinion at least, if you really care about this hobby, this should excite you, you know? And if you're an investor like myself, but also someone who loves the hobby, I mean, for me personally, this does excite me. Because at the end of the day, this is not one of these things where I'm like, oh no, I bought a Team Rocket booster box for $16,000 and it just sold for $11,000. I lost $5K. Like, no, I'm not going to do that. Because this is a hobby that I love, and I'm not going to come in with the intention of flipping it, because this isn't a hobby that, for me at least, that I'm only in because of trying to make a quick buck, and then I'm out and I don't have a love for the hobby. And it's one of these things where I think that Pokemon in the long term is here to stay, and so seeing these price drops because the demand has kind of dropped down is something that is very exciting for me. I think it's something that it should be very exciting for those people that are Pokemon fans that do want to invest in the hobby. I mean, we took a look at the prices for Shining Fates. We've taken a look at the prices for Hidden Fates and a lot of modern prices and seen how much they've dropped and how I think they're going to continue to drop with PSA. I mean, it's one of these things where it's like we're starting to get into that period where within the next year, the prices are going to probably find a bottoms. But right now, I don't think we're anywhere near. I still think we're a year away. And I know I've said that on other videos, so I'm sorry for reiterating that. But I feel like it's important to, especially considering we keep seeing new prices. And I mean, we can even take a look at Google Trends and see if we're making lower highs, which is something that I've talked about in prior videos for those people who don't know. Lower highs is just the concept of the overall long-term viewership when it comes to Pokemon. I mean, frick, look at this, guys. It's not gotten any better. It's just a straight nosedive in the amount of interest that you see over time. You know, this is July. It looks like it's got some incomplete data based on what that said, but that's just because July ends in 3 days. But still, just based off what we've seen, I mean, it's just a sharp decline. We're going to probably see prices continue to drop until we find a settling point. In my personal opinion, I think you could see, and I don't think we'll go as low as 18. I think that's pretty drastic. But we're at a point now where back in 2016, when we did see a huge increase based off of the fact of the matter that you had evolutions come out, that's at 60. We're now below that when it comes to the overall interest. So we're at a point now where we're starting to hit a decline in interest from the prior high of the market when evolutions came out. Do I think we're going to go back to the low of 18 when it comes to the overall amount of people looking at Pokemon? No. But could we see it drop all the way down from 53 to 40? I mean, I don't think it's that crazy to think or that crazy to see. But obviously, that's just kind of my personal opinion, considering this looks like a straight nosedive downwards when it comes to the overall demand in Pokemon cards when it comes to keyword searches. And I do think this is valuable when it comes to kind of correlating overall price action within the market when it comes to last sold prices. Because that is something that's very important to see, is how is the demand in the market when it comes to correlating prices. But yeah, no. So overall, just kind of give a summary and kind of wrap this video up, hopefully keeping it under 20 minutes. We saw price drops in Gen 4 sealed product. We saw price drops, in my personal opinion, in the base set first edition Charizard. I mean, it's not in my opinion, it did 100,000 dip, but you understand based on the controversy that people had about it. We also saw price drops in first edition sealed product. You could make an argument for base set first edition Shadowless, but you know, outside of that, you can't really make an argument against that for sets like Team Rocket and Jungle. And on top of that, we've also started to see a sharp decline when it comes to demand continuously. So at the end of the day, I do personally think there's going to be more blood to come, and that's something that's super exciting for those people who are wanting to get into the hobby, who are trying to collect in the hobby as it currently stands. So I think it's something to be excited about. And at the end of the day, if you are truly a collector, I don't think it's a bad thing for you to start, saving up some money and getting ready for the bottom to be found within the next year and invest in it. Or if you're just someone that loves to collect and you don't want to wait and you just want to get in now, I mean, by all means, get in now. It's something that, not financial advice, as I said before, but it's something that at the end of the day should be your decision because you love the hobby and the price isn't going to matter for you, because that's what this market's all about. Pokemon, you can make money, but also it's a hobby that I personally love and a lot of people do too. But that is all I have for today. Like I said before, please make sure to leave a like on the video. It really does help out the algorithm. Subscribe to our channel if you do like our content. And like I said before, if you do disagree and you think all I'm saying is a bunch of FUD, fear, undoubt, and disheartedness, then leave me a dislike. Obviously, I'd much rather you have a comments that you drop and we can have kind of a discussion about this, because this is something I love and passionate about. But at the end of the day, it is my personal opinion and everyone has the right to disagree with me. So that is all I have for today. I will be giving 10 code cards away right now because I did not do that on Tuesday. I do apologize for that. So I will just quickly give out these 10 code cards. Just here is that. So here's code card number 1. Yep, sorry about that. I know I haven't been on top of it. I've been pretty busy lately. So I do apologize for that profusely. I know it's probably, I don't know if it's super annoying. It's only 10 code cards, but at the end of the day, it is something that I do try to give out to you guys as kind of giving back to the community. And then lastly, as far as it goes with announcements, for those people that didn't see the email that I did send out, we are going to be doing a giveaway for a Shining Fates, or a Hidden Fates, sorry. A Hidden Fates Raichu 10 for those people that did compete in the breaker for Evolving Skies drop. All you have to do is at least buy 1 pack to be entered. So yeah, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 more to go. All right, sorry about that. But yeah, that is all I have for today's video. So thank you guys so much for watching. Until then, I will see you guys tomorrow where I give away 10 code cards, but then on Friday where I will be talking about everything going on in the news in Pokemon. Peace.